Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of Casattya. I hope you guys are enjoying the ride, enjoying the process as much as I am. This week, we're going to get into a little bit more about the extension, and you guys will hopefully see how things are progressing. I'm in a WhatsApp group with my builders who are doing the external side of my house. And at the moment, I'm struggling a little bit because I feel like they're not sending enough men to do the jobs. So the job's kind of lagging a little bit behind. And again, like everyone's doing extensions, everyone's doing remodels to their property. But at the moment, I'm finding that they have so much work on that it's like a toss up for priority to get my job done. And it's affecting me a little bit because I feel like I'm communicating that through the group. And I don't know if it's, just because they're so busy and they've got other stuff going on or whatnot, but I'm just feeling like my voice isn't really being heard. And I'm struggling a bit because I'm like, you're not sending sufficient men to get this job moving. If you're sending only one person on it, especially on a day when deliveries come, that person's basically spending most of the day doing deliveries and not actually doing the job. So I'm struggling a little bit in that sense, but I wanted to kind of keep it real with you guys. Like this whole process for me anyway, is just like trying to keep it 100. So those are some of the difficulties that I'm facing currently. But yeah, let's get a little bit more into the renovation. So the steel beams are going in. So Sam's come to the house to measure out the beams. I'm having 5 beams put in. I have a beam that looks like a triangle like this, 2 arms on either side or 2 legs on either side, and then 2 long beams which act like support beams for the house. Well, they don't act like they actually are support beams, meanwhile, for the house. So yeah, all the support beams, once the beams go in, then the house, essentially, the old house and the new house will meet and join, and the house will be supported. So they're going to do that in stages. So the triangle beam, the arms, and the first beam's going to go in, and then the second internal beam will go in later. So once that's supported and the house has been knocked through, then the second beam will go in. So I'm a bit anxious because, again, once that beam goes in and the back of the house is knocked out, you essentially have a shell, and I'm going to have some timber kind of supporting as a security measure, supporting. So they will kind of unhook that and hook it back at the end of each workday. But imagine like your house is just open. Another thing that I'm finding difficult is managing like so many different elements and the domino effect, I keep calling it. And throughout this process, I'm probably going to be talking about that a lot because so much relies on the previous person's work. If something doesn't get done in the time that you need it to get done, it affects the next person's job. So it is really, 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 really stressful. So that's one thing that to bear in mind. It's full up to the brim. So we've got to try and find a way to be able to like drag out the skip so that we can lift it onto the lorry. It's very peak right now.
This is working with an old back end.
I've got 2 projects at the moment. So I've essentially got my external extension and I'm going to have my internal works. I kind of thought it would be best to kind of do all of it at the same time. One, because I just felt like I have the time, the capacity in life to do both projects at the same time. And I wanted to just I'm impatient. I'm an impatient person. I'm an impatient somebody. So I just kind of wanted to get it all done and out of the way. So I'll have my external team, which are doing the extension, and my internal team, which are doing all the works in the house. So the beginning of the internal team starts with Heyman Electrics. They're going to be doing my complete rewire of the house. My house was a 1930s, so the socket situation, I feel like they've done a partial rewire previously in the house. So it almost needed like a complete new rewire, just to kind of keep up to date with modern technologies. Like, you want your charger next to your bed, you want sockets in more functional places, my new TV. So just things like that. I wanted my sockets to kind of match my lifestyle. So the socket situation was a big deal. As I looked around the house, I just felt like there's no way it's going to be adequate. One, to sustain the lifestyle that I lead. And 2, I wanted something that was a little bit more modern and was functional. And the current socket situation, guys, it weren't cutting it. You've got them, but just move them up here a bit. Yeah?
What about the distance between like here and there? Is that all right?
Yeah, but that's the normal shift now, isn't it? So the distance is fine.
The way it was going, the one that was going to be at the end of the wall was
so it's extending it. So you can have about that much on the door.
Okay.
So back here, you would have these.
Okay.
And over there, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
No, so I'm installing new spotlights throughout the room, just bringing in a new feed for the ventral wall lights that are going to be going up. We've been putting in new spots throughout the house. There were none originally, so it's all new, all the new installs. It's basically just obviously a full rewire of the gaff. We're putting in new fans, we're putting in obviously new spots eventually for the kitchen, and throughout just putting in sockets, and basically it's all just, everything's new, everything's being ripped out, and it's just starting again really. Each room is having spotlights. I think all in all we're putting in 72 spotlights, which is a lot, but the house is going to be lit up like a Christmas tree every day, but I think it will look good actually. Which is also good about LED lights, is that they don't build up so much heat.
Yeah.
So it is safer, but where it's now like surrounded by metal, like a can, it's much safer because there's less chance of the insulation inside setting on fire. So they're much safer. I've got your new plate for this.
Okay.
So it's all going to be,
Three.
it's just like, yeah, so it's going to be on a double box,
Yeah.
and it's going to be,
So guys, the roof's going in, like I've mentioned before previously. I believe I'm getting 4 Veluxes. So 4 Velux windows. I'm having a massive apex on top of the bifold doors, which also is like a massive piece of glass. So I'm allowing as much light to get into the property as possible. I've got a south facing garden, so I get so much sunlight in the back of the house. So I'm so excited. So this has been the hardest room in the house for me to figure out what to do with, because when I first got it, it had an electric shower in it. And I was trying to do too much. I was trying to think, how can I keep a shower and a toilet and still make it look nice? But as you can see, it's quite a tight space. So I've decided to just go with a toilet up here, just because I think it will give me the most amount of room. And basically, I was doing too much, guys. So I just thought, let me just keep it simple. I'll just do a toilet here, maybe like a sink, nice vanity, so a little bit of storage, and just keep it simple. So I think I'm going to move this door over a little bit, have a pocket door, but move it over so it's a bit more centralised, so that when you step into it, you're not stepping onto the toilet. But yeah, this was the toughest room to figure out what to do, just because the space is so tight, and it's already got the window in, it's already been tiled on the outside. So if I wanted to move the window, it was just a big job for such a small room. So, and also, like, I don't really want to do anything that's not going to increase value, like overspending. So I'm just trying to, you know, in my dream world, you have expectations of what you want to do, but actually in reality, just I'm figuring out that the more that I'm working on the house, the simpler that I make it, the better that it is. I think my colour palette's going to be quite tonal, neutral. So we've got some fun things going on here. This room's actually going to be tiled. It's going to have some tiling going on. I might play around with some grouting. I'm going to see how I feel. This house is like a bit of a maze, but also things need to be done in stages. So kind of electrics first, then plastering, then my side, the fun side, the decoration. But the foundations need to be done first. So we're doing a complete rewire. And then I'm doing quite a lot. I'm rechanging a little bit of the shape of the house as well. So then this wall now will be completely closed off. And it'll just be a plain wall, and then you'll be coming into it, accessing it through this room. So this is going to be an ensuite bedroom, but I'm actually making it a dressing room, so I can have a shower, get dressed, and go about my business. Currently, there's these inbuilt wardrobes that are here. I felt like they were really solid stone wardrobes, so I'm going to just upcycle them. They came with the house. I thought rather than, you know, getting new ones, I'm just going to move them to the other side of the room, and then we're going to just change the doors, get new handles, and just upcycle the existing frame, carcass in, so that we're not really just like starting from scratch. Then the new door into the bathroom will be here, so I'm going to get an arch put in here, and then this will be kind of an ensuite, so you'd come into the dressing room and then you'd go into the bathroom that way. So this is my new kitchen extension. It's 5 by 5, so 5 meters wide, 5 meters long. I've gone for pitched roof design. I'll have 4 Veluxes in, so 4 Velux, 4 skylights, 2 on each side. I've got a triangle apex and bifolds. So this will be like my new kitchen area. So all my units will go along here, my island, and then hopefully my dining table, but I'm trying to like gauge spacing of where things are gonna go. So they've started knocking through into, so this is where the old house stopped. So as you can see, we've got quite a new big space. So yeah, this will all be knocked through and it will be continuous. And I did want it to be kind of free flowing. I wanted to feel like my house was flooded with light but felt quite high, only because I'm quite tall. So in the current house, when I first came here to see this house, I had boots on and I was like, oh my god, I feel like my head is touching the ceiling. But the house is supported. The steel beam's gone in here. I have another steel beam going in further in the house. And all of this has been supported, so the weight of the house has been supported now. So the great thing is, so up until this point, I've basically been working from sketches, designs, and architectural drawings. So it's nice to like visually like see things come into life as well. And I'm trying not to do too much I'm trying to be a bit more flexible, because the thing is when you're working from drawings, sometimes it looks good on paper, but in reality, it doesn't really work with this space. So I'm trying my best to be a bit more flexible and see like, are there things I'm gonna need to change, and just understand that what I thought might happen might not happen now that the reality is here. But the great thing is that I feel like there's a lot of space, and I feel like my house reflects me. Like it's tall, it's airy, I wanted loads of light to flood the space. So next steps, the rest of this wall still needs to come out. My second structural beam needs to go in, and then we'll be able to, I'm going to have a utility cupboard. I'm also it's mostly a cupboard with my washing machine and dryer, but I'm still calling it a utility cupboard. And then I'm putting a toilet in underneath the stairs. So there's still that second phase of down here that needs to be done. There's still quite a little bit of work to do, but I'm hoping then that once they've put in the utility cupboard, they've put in the toilet, this wall's completely knocked out, there's still beams gone in the structure in the middle of the house, and that wall's been completely taken out. Then I was like, okay, I can start to look on placement and design. This is where my new utility cupboard is going to go, and this is where the toilet under the stairs will be. I've opted to put in, there was no toilet downstairs on the ground floor, and I definitely thought it was a must. It had to go in. It was something that definitely the house needed, and also something that would add value as well. So I'll put in a downstairs toilet. I'm going to have a utility cupboard here. And in terms of boiler, I currently have a combi boiler here, but where I'm adding an extra bathroom to the house, I'm going to go for a new style cylinder boiler, just because, do you remember when I was growing up here, like the tanks used to like take up a whole room. But thankfully that technology and design has moved forward since then, so you can get quite compact tanks now. So I currently have a Valiant like combi boiler, but I'm going to go for a cylinder, just so that if one person's showering, at least like if someone else wants to take a bath, you're not there like fighting for the hot water. I've been quite hands-on in the project and making sure that I'm always around. Like, and again, like just functionality as well. Like on paper, when you're working to like diagrams or sketches or architectural drawings, things that you think might work on paper, when you come to the build or like they take apart something, it might not necessarily work. So definitely flexibility, having flexibility in your design is 100% needed. So it was so important to support a local business. So I'm excited to get to the showroom, see what they've got to offer, and hopefully make my dream of having a black kitchen come to life. So I'm here at Kitchen House, and we're gonna get into all things black kitchen. I searched high and low to be able to kind of find a kitchen that I wanted. I knew from the get-go that I wanted a black kitchen. So I'm here today to kind of see what the guys have got on offer, work with the team to kind of build it out. As you guys probably know, I'm quite anal and specific with what I want, and I think that's a good thing, because it's quite easy to get distracted if you don't know what you want. So I think the great thing is they do have black units, and we'll be able to kind of go through and make sure that it's functional as well. So I have in my mind visually how I want it to look, but again, it has to be functional. So I'm going to sit down with the team, we're going to go through it, and we're going to get into all things kitchen, guys. Found the kitchen of my dreams, and the great thing is that we can actually build it out. Like, the service is completely bespoke, so I can completely tailor it exactly to how I want it to look, feel, functionality. I think the look of my kitchen, I think you guys will be very shocked. It's very chic, and the great thing is I've been able to find black cabinets. So we've got a few tested samples here. So I found the kitchen cabinet of dreams. We're going for like a matte black satin finish. We're going to do AEG on all the appliances. And I'm so excited for it to come together. Like, this has always been like my dream kitchen in my mind, and the guys here have been amazing to work with to kind of bring my ideas to life. Me and Pinterest are joined at the hip for life. But the great thing is that now you can see it in reality, and you know, they kind of put it all together, and I can see it on the screen exactly what it's going to look like. Even they can put flooring in, so you can really visualize. If you're creative like me, you want everything to be visually appealing, and you want to be able to see how it's all going to look. So I think the great thing is now we've kind of put it together. So guys, I'm having a massive issue with my builders at the moment. They're consistently only sending one man to the job, and I'm struggling with this job like staying in the timeline that I need it to be in, i.e. like I'm desperate to move in before Christmas. Like, I'm desperate to like kind of, now the external works are going to start to affect the internal works if we don't keep to the tight schedule. So I'm struggling now with my external team because I feel like they've got too many jobs on, they're juggling too many jobs, and they're just not sending a sufficient amount of workmen to site. So yeah, we're in problems, guys. We're in big problems.